Okay, the next Hey guys, it's Heather. So today I'm going to be doing my favorite brush video. I haven't done one of these in a very long time. I think I did one a couple of years ago. I don't even know if that video is still up anymore, but I wanted to do one today. I am filming on my old camera because I had a little technical difficulties with my Rebel and I thought it was charged, but I didn't plug it in and whatever. So I have time today, so I wanted to make sure that I did a video for you guys. So I'm sorry if the lighting or the quality or whatever is not on point, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. It's just brushes, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, so if you've seen my collection storage video, you know right here to the left of me, I have all of my brushes stored. I have a little clear container with like 4 compartments and then one large one in the back, and then I have some like laying, in behind it or whatever. But I have all my brushes here because I don't like to display my brushes. I just, I know that they get dirty and you wash them and stuff, but I just don't really like the fact of, I don't know, like displaying brushes and they're not all the same, and I don't know what my issue is with that because I see people's collections and it's so pretty, but I just never can get mine to look pretty, and I'm not really into it. So anyway, but I want to go ahead and talk to you about my favorite brushes. Now, I will point out the Beauty Blender and the Real Techniques sponge here. I really like these. However, I have been noticing the past few times I've applied face makeup that these guys were taking off my foundation. Now, I don't know if it was because I wasn't letting my foundation really set into the skin before I went in with these with concealer, but I noticed like I would do my foundation with a brush because I really don't use these. I like the Real Techniques one more for foundation, but I really don't tend to gravitate towards these for foundation. But I was noticing that it was like I would do my foundation and then I would go in my concealer and I would blend it out with one of these guys, and it was like taking off my foundation. So I'm not sure exactly what it was. I don't know if because these were damp and I make sure I squeeze out the excess water. I don't know if that was what it was. I really don't know. So I'm not really fond of these as much anymore, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I just found other stuff that worked. But yeah, I mean, it was taking it off like on my nose and on my forehead, like where I would blend out my concealer, and it was just not cute. So I don't really use those as much since I figured out that's what was doing it, because when I'd go out in the sun, like I'd be missing foundation patches, and that's not cute. So I do want to talk about, and I don't remember what this brush is called. I will try to find it and link it in the description box, but this has been like my newfound love for foundation. It makes your foundation go on so smooth, and it blends it out. It's nice and soft. I was using the Sigma F80, which I'm not even sure where that is right now. It's probably in a basket needing to be washed, but the bristles are very stiff, and it doesn't, like, once you get foundation in those brushes, like in the hairs of the brush, it just doesn't like really glide on your skin. It doesn't blend it. So I'm not really a big fan of that, but I really love this IT Cosmetics brush, and it almost looks like the F80, except these are really nice and soft, and I absolutely love it. These are, I don't believe these are synthetic hair. I'm not even sure if it is, but like I said, I'll list it in the description box. But it has the same flat concept. I used it today, that's why it's dirty, but it just blends your foundation. The foundation doesn't get stuck all up in the hairs and goop up where it just like doesn't want to blend and you're just kind of fighting it like the F80. So this has become my absolute hands down favorite foundation brush. Any foundation I use, thick, thin, in the middle, it just blends it out so nice, and I'm able to run down my neck really nicely. And I use this today with foundation, and it's still super soft. So I will try to list this. This did come in a kit. I'm sure you can buy it separately. I hope so. And I did a video on it, which I can link that below too, but it came with like the Celebration Luminous Foundation like powder, but I love it for liquid and cream foundations. It's amazing. So that's basically been my go-to foundation brush. Now, I do really love this Real Techniques. This is the powder brush. It's just a really huge, big, fluffy powder brush. I absolutely love this to apply powder to my face, like to set my face makeup. It's nice and big. I did notice, like, at first like while it was still new, even though I did wash it, it did kind of get, like it was kind of scratchy a little bit, but it has softened up over time. But I just really like it. I mean, it just really glides on, and you can buff out like your bronzer and your blush if it gets a little too, you know, much, but I really like that. So that's definitely a great powder brush. And for my bronzer, I'm kind of going in order if you haven't noticed, but for my bronzer, I really love the Sigma F20 large powder brush. This is really, really good to bronze your face. I don't really contour with it, but you can, I mean, if you're, you know, careful, I guess, but I really don't care for it for that, to contour with, but I really love it just to bronze up my face. It just is perfect for that because it's kind of flat. I know a lot of people love this brush to actually apply powder. I don't really care for it for that because it is kind of flat, so I actually prefer it for bronzer. So this is a really good brush as well. Blush brush, you're gonna have to excuse these brushes. They are dirty because I did use them today, so bear with me. Blush brush, there are two that I like. The first one is a longtime favorite. I've had this brush for years, and it's the Sigma F40. This is the large angled contour. I love this for blush. It just really applies nicely. I know a lot of people like turn it on like the pointy side and they kind of contour. I never do that. I just apply it with blush. I love, love, love this. This really packs on blush really nicely. I mean, you know, it really packs it on and you can blend it out really easily. So I love that. And then if I want more of a blown out blush look where it's not so concentrated like with the F40, I go in with my MAC 120. Sigma has one like this, which is the F10 brush, I believe. And it's just kind of like a flat side, and you just apply it in your blush and you just kind of pack it on and rub it. Like I said, this doesn't, you have to build up with these, which I like. So if you're using more of a concentrated heavy pigmented blush, you're able to kind of diffuse it out a little more, and it's not as boom like with this one. So those are my two go-to blush brushes. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, the next brush that I absolutely love is from the drugstore actually, and it's the EcoTools Deluxe Fan Brush. I have searched high and low for fan brushes. If you go to the drugstore, and a lot of times any kind of fan brush, they're so like paper thin that it just doesn't do much for my highlight. Now, there are some from like, I think Coastal Scents, maybe whatever the other, you know, brush companies are. Sigma may even have one, but I wanted one that was kind of like fat, like it, you know, it had some, you know, girth to it, and that way it wasn't so paper thin, because a lot of times I just didn't find it really diffused it. So I was looking at Walmart and I came across this one. I think it was like $8 or $9, but it's really good quality, and it just really fits perfectly on the top, you know, of your cheekbones and down your nose. And it just really, you know, you apply it, you know, you put it in your highlighter and you just kind of go like that, and it just really blends for you, and it doesn't put too much in one spot, not enough in the other, like the thin ones like the thin ones tend to do for me. So I really like this Deluxe Fan Brush from EcoTools. Super great. Okay, so that's pretty much all the face brushes that I use. As far as concealer under my eyes, like I said, if it's the Beauty Blender, which when I found it was taking off my foundation, I kind of just, honestly, with my under eyes, is just use, like, dab it in with my fingers, and then I go in with my foundation brush and kind of blend out the edges. Honestly, that's kind of what I do. So that's everything. As far as a contour brush, I really don't ever contour. I usually just bronze up my face with the F20. That's just my personal preference. I just really don't contour very much, but you could use the Deluxe Fan too. I mean, that would fit really good in your contour as well. I do have the NARS Ita brush, but I don't really use that because, again, I don't really contour a lot. So, you know, I don't know, maybe I can practice more with it, but that's just kind of how it is. Okay, so as far as the rest of the brushes, which is for your eyes, there are quite a few that I really, really like. So the first one is definitely one of my favorite go-to staples. Now, I want to put this little disclaimer. I have a lot of brushes, and I mean, maybe not that dramatic, but I do have quite a few, and I only really reach for a certain amount. So I'm just going to show you like what my go-to brushes are. Do I think you need all the ones I have? No. Do I like all the ones I have? Yes. But I just want to share with you like the ones that I absolutely can't live without, I use all the time. So just throwing that out there. So the first one that I love is the Sigma E40. It's a tapered blending brush. This will diffuse all of your crease colors. It will blend your eyeshadows. I absolutely love, whoa, hit yourself in the face. I absolutely love this brush. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. I don't know what I would do without this brush. I've had this brush for years and it's still held up, and I've washed it a lot. I used it today, so that's why it's a little, you know, dirty. But yeah, it just really gets into that crease and it blends out your shadows to your brow bone. You can use it for a brow highlight. You can use it, you know, in your inner corners. You can use it to set underneath your eyes. It's just an amazing brush. You can also use it to contour, to get that really tight contour. So it's a multi-purpose brush in my opinion. You can also use it to put shadow over your lid. It's just not going to be as, you know, concentrated as if you were to use like a flat shadow brush. So this is amazing. I love the E40. That is definitely a brush I would totally recommend. Now, another brush that I do really love is my MAC 217. This is an oldie but a goodie, and this will really get your outer corner. It'll blend into your crease. You can turn it kind of sideways and diffuse that outer corner and blend it with your crease. I absolutely love this. This also is great for the lid. It's also great for the brow bone. So this is amazing. It's just, you know, a little bit more precise than the E40, so I really like the MAC 217 brush. Okay, so that's that. And then for my brow highlight and my inner corner, I love the Sigma medium angled shading E70 brush, and it just is just a like angled brush, and it has, you know, some good density to it, and I just love it to put on my brow bone for my brow highlight, stamp it in the inner corner. It's really, really good brush, and it really blends that brow highlight with your crease color. So I love the Sigma E70 brush for that. Okay, as far as the lid, now there are a few that I like, but I think really honestly only two is what takes the cake for me. And the two that I'm going to talk about, they actually look really similar, but I'm going to go ahead and show you both. And one of them is actually a concealer brush. It's the F70 from Sigma. And it's just a really nice flat brush, but it really compacts you know, the color on your lid. It just gets it really nice and concentrated. It fits perfectly for my, you know, because I have really small lid space. It fits perfectly. It doesn't take the color up too high, where like if you use like the Sigma E55, this was a great one for a long time. It's really, really fat, and it is flat, but I just find that it just puts too much color in that little space, so I don't really reach for that. But this F70 one, I love it. This is also a really good brush for your brow bone as well. It really packs it on there. And then the other one, which I love it for like pigments and stuff, and this one, the F70 is almost identical to it, and it's the MAC 242. And this is just a flat brush, and it really, really packs it on, and it gets nice up in that lid, and you can really, you know, define your lid space with your lid color. And I just love this brush. It's been an old time favorite of mine. So those are definitely my favorite brushes for the lid. So yeah, that's basically it for the most part of the eyes, except I do want to talk about the Sigma E35, and this is the tapered blending brush, and this one, as you can see, is really, really fluffy, and it's almost like the Mac Daddy of the 217. This is the 217 right here, and this is the E35. So this one I like whenever I'm trying to blend a crease color with like my transition shade, and I'm really wanting to diffuse that out, I usually go in with this. Or if my E40 is dirty, I'll go in with this. So it's a really nice fluffy brush, so I love that as well. The next one for underneath my eyes to define my lower lash line is the MAC 212, and this is just a really nice flat brush. It's very, very stiff, so it doesn't like throw the color everywhere, because that could be kind of, you know, messy. But this doesn't. You just really get in there and you just pack it on underneath the eyes. It puts it on really nicely. It doesn't really blend because it's so dense, so you definitely need another brush for that. And the brush for that, which it has, God, I've gone through so many brushes trying to find the perfect one to get under there and blend that color out, because a lot of people like will use the MAC 217, and I'm like, that stabs me in the eye, and then the brush tip hairs get wet, and then I have, you know, a mess. But this one is the EcoTools Smudge brush, and it's just a little bitty baby, and it's very, very soft. It is kind of dense, which is good, but it also isn't too dense where it won't blend. So you just get this under there and you can really blend under there. Like I said, it's dense so where the product's not going everywhere, but it's soft enough to where you can really drag that color along. Because what I was finding is the brushes that I would use would be too stiff, and I would get it under there and it was just like pulling and pulling trying to get it to blend. So this one is very good, and I actually got it in a kit which looks like this, and it has, I haven't used the other brushes, but it has you know, like a good lid brush, a blending brush, and then another detailer brush. But I got this kit, but I really got it for this brush, so yeah. But anyways, I love this brush. Okay, so that's basically everything. Those are like my go-to brushes. Okay, so the last brushes that I'm going to talk about today are my eyebrow brushes. So I do have an eyebrow pencil, but I honestly prefer to go in with eyebrow powder. And the staples for me are definitely, this one is just a cheapie that I got at Walmart, and basically all it is the spoolie. I don't use the angled part of it, but I love the spoolie. Now the spoolie is excellent. It's excellent. I think that you need a spoolie, a really good one, to really go in there and brush them out and prepare them before you put your product in there, especially if you've got like really long hairs or like, you know, bushy eyebrows or brow hairs that don't want to lay down. These are really good at doing that. And also, like, after you get the product in there, it's nice to blend out the product to where it's not so harsh. So definitely, this is just a cheapie from Walmart. I have an Ardell one I bought at Sally's. Same basic concept, angled brush on one end, spoolie on the other. Just get a spoolie. You can go to Sally's and get a bag of spoolies for cheap. I don't know the quality of those because I haven't used them, but just a spoolie is definitely a must. And then the eyebrow brushes that I love, the first one is a MAC 266, and these are also great eye brushes, you know, for eyeliner and stuff like that, but it's just a really nice angled brush, and I absolutely love this to define. It just is the perfect shape, and I just put the pointy end, you know, this way, and I just really define my brows. And then I go in with the MAC 208, which is really, really small. And again, this is a really good eyeliner brush as well, but it's a lot smaller than the MAC 266. So what I do with this brush is I define my tail. I just, you know, dip it into my product, and then just really, it just precisely gives me that nice, precise tail. So that is what I use on my brows. So that's it, guys. That is my go-to brushes. I don't feel like there's that many, but I do feel like these are must-haves for me. And like I said, I have so many different variations of these brushes, but these are the ones that I always reach for and I think really make a big difference. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will put a link to the Sigma brushes to where you can get some of those, and I'll list everything down below, especially the name of this bad boy, this wonderful brush that I absolutely love. And hopefully you can buy it separately because it's just amazing. I mean, it's just, oh, I love it. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you check these brushes out. And if you have any brush recommendations that really would, you know, change my makeup application, definitely let me know, because I'm always interested in brushes. I mean, I remember what seems like not that long ago, you used your fingers, like, or like the little compact sponge. Like, there wasn't brushes like this. So it's come a long way, and now I'm like, oh my god, I can't do my eyeshadow if I don't have a brush. And it's like, some of my friends are like doing it with their fingers and they're just fine, so it's kind of funny. Anyways, I'm rambling, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.